What's up, y'all? It's your girls, Doe and Moe, and we're back with episode 6 of the Rooted Life podcast. If you're new here, then we're so happy to have you. What you need to know is that we're two best friends who love Jesus, and we love helping women thrive in their relationships with God, themselves, and others by focusing on faith and well-being. And if you're part of the Rooted fam, welcome back. Happy to see y'all.
We are. And this season, we're exploring change in all its forms, in our bodies, in careers, families, relationships, all that stuff. And last episode, one of my favorites, easily, we talked about the changes we're experiencing in our bodies as women in our 30s. Was there like a big takeaway or like an aha moment for you in the last episode?
You know, the one thing that we talked about that kind of stood out to me was just the importance of sleep. But really, I guess it's connected to a bigger conversation around rest, the importance of rest and its impact on restoring your body, ensuring that you remain well, healthy, heal, hold. And I love how you pointed out how God had already built rest into the rhythm of our lives through the Sabbath. So that was good.
He did.
What about you?
I think just we were talking about it before, but just like our grandmothers and thinking about like what I do to my body and with my body now, I'm going to see the results of that or even consequences later. And if I really want to do all that God has called me to do, it's important for me to steward my body well, take care of myself holistically, not just going to the gym, but like reading my Bible and getting my rest and eating well. So I think just thinking about like, how can I invest in my body now so that when it's time for me to withdraw, I've done the work so that I can do all that God has called me to do.
So good.
Yeah, it was good. And today we're talking about leadership, which I don't know why, but in the Christian spaces, it's a little complicated to talk about women being in leadership. So I'm excited to kind of dive into what leadership looks like for us as people who lead in multiple areas of our lives. But before that, you want to tell them about...
Do I want to tell them?
This little thing we got going on?
This little thing right here is Pulse Check, our new relationship card game that we're super excited about. Designed to spark meaningful conversations, help you build deeper connections with the people who matter most. It is a labor of love from the last couple of years, and we're so excited that it is available now for pre-order on our Kickstarter campaign. And so would love for y'all to support and then also get a deck sent to your house. So join us in that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, glows and grows, ready to...
Glows and grows.
Every episode, ma'am.
Yeah.
It ain't new.
Okay.
Go ahead, kick us off. What you got?
I think my grow is gossip.
Oh.
If I'm being honest.
Wow, I didn't know you were going to say
just jumping right in there with that. Yeah. You know, sometimes there was something that I saw on Instagram that talked about, you know, are you just like stating facts about something or are you stating like your opinion about the thing as well.
I don't like where this is going.
You know, and so it's like, that's kind of how you can decipher between gossip. Like, are you just like stating the facts like, oh, this thing happened with this person? Or are you like, you know, this thing happened and so that's probably because, and it just can go off the rails real fast. And so I'm just recognizing that I just need to be more mindful about like how I speak about others because it can, that line right there is real fine before it gets into just being gossip and messy and not reflecting the character that I want to about other people. And so that'll be a grow for me. And then I think the glow is just kind of like slowly letting go of perfectionism. I realized that like being a perfectionist, it'll show up in every area of your life. And so more recently, it has been revealed in my marriage and being at the house and wanting everything a certain way and And so it's just like, yeah, I've seen myself just in that space start to just be a little bit more open hands, not need everything to my liking, to my serving. Everything don't have to be perfect all the time. It's okay if something ain't in the right place and all those things. And so I'm realizing how freeing it is to let go of perfectionism. So yeah,
she's growing.
We
love it
and glowing.
For me, let's start off with grow so we can end up on a positive note with glow. I think with my grow is really about my mindset, but more specifically my language. So for example, when I was in therapy, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I was like, I'm so tired of being single. She's like, oh, so you don't like being by yourself?
Oh,
who is you talking to? Who is you talking to?
Ooh, that caught me off guard.
She's like, oh, so you're saying you don't like being by yourself. You know that you always will be with yourself, though.
Yeah.
So is that what you
mean? Even with someone. Dang, yeah.
I said, no. She's like, so what do you mean? I said, I meant to say that I like desire companionship. She's like, then say that.
She got into you.
She always does. Can you believe it?
She said, then say that.
Then say that. So what do you want? I was like, I desire a healthy, happy romantic relationship. She's like, then say that. Don't say you're tired of being single, because you will always be with yourself. Being single means you're alone. Are you tired of being alone? I'm like, I mean, I like me. Well, then be clear about your language.
It's good. It's good. Good push, as they say. Good
Very
push.
much so. It was a push for sure. So I think it's a mindset, but also my language is really important, and to say what I mean and mean what I say, and not just allowing my words to just say whatever when I'm frustrated and saying things that aren't true. And also our acting as barriers to the very thing I'm asking God to do. I want my language. Oh, I'm getting convicted.
Ooh,
I want my language to partner with what I'm believing God to do.
Ooh, good stuff. Y'all hear that, people? That's good. That is
Maybe
good.
we should just pause.
Let's. Oh, I was gonna say let's just get into the episode before you need to go to the closet.
Yeah, I feel like I should just go home now and go pray about. I need my language to be a partner. Okay, well,
jot that down.
Yeah, that's a mental note to talk about on the ride home with God. The glow is that one of my dreams has been to have a garden. This year was one of my, not New Year's resolutions, but one of the things I wanted to do was get my front yard and backyard together.
Yes.
And we've accomplished it just in time for the spring. And so I go home and I see my flowers. I see my tomatoes and my jalapenos. And I got vegetables, baby. We growing kale and cucumber.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the glow is setting a goal and accomplishing a goal. And it's a goal that I enjoy to look at and enjoy. Every day I get to enjoy the work that I put in.
Yeah. I love that.
Nice.
Growing and glowing, baby.
Oh, yeah, literally. I'm growing things in my garden.
Growing
and
and
glowing.
glowing. I love it. Okay, so today we're talking about leadership, though, which is dope. Lord. I think to get to hear about leadership from the perspective of two Black women, I think that's different and unique.
Oh my God, it is.
You don't really see a lot of Black women that's their thing, their area of expertise.
So
you know what I mean? It's usually a lot of white men.
Even in the Christian space, it's a lot of
John Maxwell. It's a lot of white men who own. Craig Goller. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but yes.
He be having some facts. No shade.
The one who started YouVersion. Yeah. Excellent on the leadership space. But I think what's dope is to get to hear about it from our perspective today.
Okay.
So thinking about leadership in your own life, what would you say, why is this an interesting topic for you? And why do you think it's important that we bring it up here?
Well, I think there's theological debates around women in leadership. I think it's important to let's just call a spade a spade. I won't go into all the theology around it. You can read the Bible. You can look in New Testament, read the letters Paul wrote to the church, talk to God about whatever.
Yeah.
Talk to him about it. Okay. Talk to the boss. That ain't what we talk about here. So I think that's one thing, is that it can be touchy to talk about, because then you get to should women be leading? Should they not? Should they lead in the church? Should they not? Can they be a lead pastor? So I think it's just touchy, but maybe as a result, I feel like we just don't talk about it enough. So I think it's important just to have a space. Again, we're not telling you all what to believe. We're telling you how God is moving in our gifting of leadership, and encouraging you to go to him to ask him about it. Okay. About your life. Because we can't speak. We can't speak for your life. I can just speak for us. So I think that's why it's important to have a space. And I think, the other thing that's important is what I didn't know is leadership reveals way more than you think. It reveals your insecurities, your strengths, your gifts. I feel exposed as a leader. Every day I'm oh, I didn't do this thing. I should have done that. So I think we forget that leadership is a tool that God uses to shape us and develop us. It's an honor, but it's also a tool, and recognizing kind of that tension that can exist in that.
Yeah. There is a lot of tension, I think, in leadership. I think some of that tension, too, comes from our misconceptions around leadership.
Okay.
I think this is me even speaking for myself, but many of us see stepping into leadership as the opportunity to get to kind of kick our feet up. And I think that's also how the media has positioned leaders too, just from an entertainment standpoint. Let's take our favorite show, The Office. Michael Scott is not positioned as a person who is bearing a lot of burden and has a responsibility and weight, and is being thoughtful and intentional about how he is leading people. And I mean, I know it's a comedy, but it's just you see those messages and you're man, by the time you get to be a leader, you just looking at everybody else do their job.
Chilling.
You chilling. But that is not the truth. Leadership actually has a bit of a burden associated with it. There's a heavy load attached to leading. And so I think that's the thing that is just important to talk about in my own life. life, I was desiring the title and I was desiring the salary and I'm desiring like wanting to make a bigger impact, none of which are wrong.
Right.
But I think in chasing after those things, I was not considering the big responsibility that would come along with being a leader. And so been a little caught off guard and knocked a little off my feet with that part. And so hopefully that'll be encouraging to someone else. Like if you are seeking this place of like, oh, I want a bigger title, I need more money, I need these things. It's like also understand what's going to come along with that. There's going to be more expected of you because you want more things in your life. So that's been just an interesting point.
Yeah, people don't tell you that part about leadership. It's going to cost you.
Yeah.
A lot. Every day.
Yeah.
You know, I think about it even before I like got to, you know, serve on the worship team at church. People are like, are you excited? And I was like, no. Like, why? I'm like, because I've been on the stage and I know what it's going to require. I have to now make sure that everything I do the entire week, my whole life, is aligned to a 30-minute session on Sunday.
That's right.
And it's not to say that like my life was all crazy, but it's like if God is calling me to be on stage and lead people in worship, my life needs to reflect a life of worship and obedience. So I'm like, I mean, yeah, it's great. I love the team. I love doing it. But I was just like, I know what this is going to cost me. And I think people, what I'm getting at is when people see leadership, we see the good parts. Oh, you're on stage, you have a title, there's a camera in your face. Right. But all good leaders are on their face at night. You know what I mean? Like all good leaders are doing a lot of work behind the scenes. And I don't think we get to see that enough to know all the work that goes into being a good leader. It's not just the, you know, what you were saying. But yeah, it's a lot of work and effort and sacrifice to show up all the time.
And I think that's why the conversation is important too, because it challenges us to view leaders with a sense of grace.
Oh, that's good,
you know,
Dorian.
to give them space to mess up and to be wrong and to not get it right all the time. I think oftentimes like when you're sitting in a seat, there's this tension even between like, well, leadership this and management that. And it's like, well, let's consider like the weight that they're carrying. Like in my new role at work, I'm sitting in rooms and I'm hearing conversations and I'm like, nobody wins in this conversation. And so now I'm watching leaders trying to decide like what is the best case scenario when on the other side of the equation is going to be lost for all parties.
That's hard.
And I'm like, you think you have a sense of like how you would be better, et cetera. And I'm sitting in that room like, oh, this is big time. I'm listening and learning and paying attention because there's just a lot more that you don't know. That's happening behind the scenes. And so I think it could challenge all of us to just be a little bit more gracious with leaders as well. Oh, was that for you?
Wait,
you know,
the grace.
As you said, take that up with the boss.
I'll have to take that up with my boss for sure. I don't be giving no grace leaders. I'm like, you should have done this and you could have done that. And I don't know why you did that and why didn't you say that? And there's a place I think to have like some honest assessment about leaders.
100%.
But when you are following somebody or you're under somebody or whatever whatever preposition you want to use, there is 1,000 other things that inform the decision that you are not privy to. Yeah. And we forget that part.
We do.
There's so much more. Now, that don't mean I agree with all the leadership decisions I see.
Sure.
But I have enough insight as a leader to know that there are 12, 15 things I have no idea about that impacted this particular decision.
Yeah, I think, well, you know, that reminds me, too, of just like when you are in leadership, how you have a responsibility to try as much as you can. We talk about at work sharing context and rationale.
That's good.
You have a responsibility to, as much as you can, share the context and rationale for why you are moving the way that you're moving.
Simple.
Because people don't see.
They don't know.
Why you doing this? And so then it just feels like things are happening to me at my own expense. Whereas like you very well may have sat there and thought about the 10 things and have a rational reason as to why 9 of them wouldn't work. And so you landed here. But oftentimes I think as leaders, we spend so much time in it that by the time it's time to like share something, you're just like, look, this is where we landed. And people are pissed and we don't know why. So I think like as you are navigating becoming a leader, or if you're in a position of leadership, to just remember that like people need that from you.
That's good.
They need that full picture as much as you can. And you can't give them all the details, like understand that. But as much as you can, just being transparent and sharing, like really just tell people the why. People just want to understand the why. Even if they don't agree with it, if they hear the why, they can at least get behind it.
That's good leadership right there.
Ooh, look at the Lord
That's
working
good
in me.
leadership right there.
You
okay.
Working. You working.
Talking about good leadership, I'd love to hear a little bit more about like what surprised you, because you've got a recent promotion at work. So you went from managing a certain amount of people to more people. So I'd love to hear like, what surprised you, and then like how is that shaping who you're becoming today?
Yeah. Well, what has surprised me is how you use the word like exposed. Yeah, that's what surprised me. It's how exposed I feel on a daily basis as a leader. How much I'm recognizing people are watching, listening, judging, assessing everything that I'm doing. And I didn't feel, you don't really feel that as an individual contributor. You do your job, and if you do it well, nobody actually really checks for you.
Not like that.
The best part about being an individual contributor that people don't realize that, nobody's really checking for you when you're doing your job. But the moment you step into leadership, eyes are on you in a different way. You have a platform now. And so I think it's like the challenge is stewarding that platform well and realizing that because people are watching that, like, you have a responsibility to people in a different way than you did as an individual contributor. And that just surprised me. I didn't realize that, like, the more you grow as a leader, the more you have to pay attention to other people. That seems like a given, but it didn't really connect for me.
Yeah, and I would add, too, that, like, I love what you talked about with platform, because we could think that leadership is a title. And people can be in leadership positions all the time with no title.
Correct.
But essentially what you're reminding me of is that we all have a platform. Whether it's the custodian we see at work, whether it's my neighbor I see, like, we all have a platform that we've been trusted to steward well. And so I think that it would be beneficial for all of us, I think, to stop aiming towards the next biggest platform and say, God, how do I steward the platform you've given me? How do I become a good leader here with the little bit of influence that you've given me? Because I think a lot of times when we want the next level, we're not thinking about the responsibility. We're thinking about the influence. Well, I think the question today is like, well, how am I stewarding the influence and the platform I have today? Because if you ain't stewarding this way, you think he's going to give you more than that? But I think we just have to remember, because someone could listen and be like, well, I don't have a title at work, and I don't manage a team, and I'm just an individual contributor. But God has given you a platform for you to steward and trusting you to do that well, and will equip you. Like, it's not all in your own strength, but I think we have to remember it's not just a title.
Yeah, it definitely isn't. And when you do have that title,
come on,
it is, I think, important to remember that, like, you are in service of the people.
That's good.
And that is something that I feel like God is really stretching my capacity to be able to serve people as a leader. And so how it's shaping who I'm becoming is that I'm realizing that, like, it is my responsibility to have a sense of, like, the experience that the people around me are having.
Okay.
Because as a leader, I'm called to speak to that experience. I think, like, perception is reality. And so even if I thought I said something in a certain way, or I thought I moved in a certain way, if that's not how it was perceived, then that's the reality that my team is living in. And so it causes me to need to, like, own things in a different way, which can make you feel a little insecure or make you feel like you're not doing well as a leader. But that's just a part of the game. You're going to get things wrong. You're going to need to apologize. You're going to need to address mishaps and just be more open and vulnerable, I think, as a person. And so I think there's this aspect of, like, not separating, like, I'm a leader, and so I need to come across a certain way, and then just being me, like, being my authentic self and, like, pulling the cover back sometimes and being like, y'all, I don't really know what's next right now, but we're going to get through it together. And what I do know is that we are still a team. Our vision and our mission has not changed, and we will continue to support each other through the change.
Yeah. I think, too, if I'm thinking about something that surprised me in leadership, I really thought that the people that I manage at work and lead at work expected me to be perfect and expected me to have all the answers. But I think about all the greatest leaders I've worked with. None of them pretended to have answers, but they were authentic and they did share context and they did share rationale. But I think that some of that pressure, well, I know, is self-imposed. Like, they expect me to always 100%. Know the answer. And like, I don't even expect that out of the people that
anybody else.
Yeah. So why would I put all that pressure on myself? But I found that my team appreciates it so more when I'm like, this is what I know. This is what I don't know. And this is what I'm committed to getting an answer for you. In the meantime, this is X, Y, Z. I didn't even I just didn't know that. I just I got to have all the answer and do everything myself. And nobody was asking me to do that.
No. When I asked my team what they appreciated most, as we were navigating transition, they were like, we really just appreciate that you say that you don't know things. And I was just like, that is so interesting to me, as that would be the thing that they call out as actually what we appreciate is when you address the fact that we don't have all the answers, because that kind of helps to calm us in thinking are you holding anything back, etc. Versus to just know there is no answer to that right now. And the same way that we don't know, you don't either. And so we can share in that experience together.
And that doesn't make you less of a leader.
Correct.
For saying that.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
It doesn't.
It makes them actually have more trust in you because you're honest. Yeah. I could go on and on, but I'll keep going.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's my
surprised
question?
you?
Well, that piece, I'm surprised at how much leadership has changed me as a person. It doesn't just change how I show up at work. It changes how I show up in my friendships. I've done, I sent you some of the trainings, but there's a company that does a lot of professional development for leaders. And their big thing is asking questions. They have some data point. I don't think I'm going to get it right. But it's basically on average, most people might ask 2 to 3 questions a minute or something like that. But leaders ask 5+. Maybe not a minute, but there's some kind of metric. Most people are not asking questions in general.
Yeah.
But good leaders are always asking thoughtful, intentional questions to help the people they manage get to a solution, and not just always trying to get them there, but just being asking really thoughtful questions. And that has just really stuck out to me. And I think the more that I've done that with my team, the more I've heard them comment I just appreciate how you coach me. And in my head, I'm I didn't even coach. I'm just asking you a question. And some of the questions in the training was what would make this 10% stronger? What's your next step here? What did you learn about yourself in this experience? How can I support you in this? What are you concerned? Just being thoughtful about questions. But I've been taking that into my personal life of considering how can I ask more questions when I'm with my friends? How can I be more inquisitive? Because what that communicates is I care about you and I'm curious about your life, and I want to I want to be a part of what's happening. And I just think that questions have the power to communicate all that. One question can communicate so many things.
Yeah.
And so just trying to be more quick to be inquisitive in my relationships. But I just underestimated how much leadership would change how I show up in other areas of my life.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you bring molded in that space, overflowing into other spaces.
I'm surprised. Even when my sister calls me, I'm okay, what are you looking for me from right now? What do you need from me in this moment? I need you to do this. Okay. Have you considered this, and that? No. Okay. Do you want me to help you with this? Do you have it? Even with how I navigate my sister, I'm ask more questions instead of just telling her what to do.
Yeah.
Because eventually I want her to get to a place where she's asking herself those questions, and I've done my job.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm surprised.
That's good. I think also what we're kind of getting at is that leadership is not just about work. It's not just about your place that you get a paycheck. Being a leader actually expands to every area of your life.
Really good.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So that surprised me. And I think how's it developing me? I think just becoming a more inquisitive person, which back to what you were talking about, I think it was this episode about judgment. Being inquisitive, I think is the antidote to judgment.
Yeah.
Just becoming a little bit more curious. Instead of why did you do that? It's I wonder, there's a way.
What were you thinking during
can you walk me through your train of thought? Can you walk me through your thought process there? One of the favorite sayings in my job is I have a wondering here. I just love that.
I'm a little
curious about this. Can you tell me more?
Yeah.
Which sounds so much more different than why did you do that?
Yeah.
And so I think I'm surprised at how the inquisitive nature is helping me combat my judgment and my critique of other people. Yeah. Wow, I'm growing.
Yeah, look at you.
I wasn't sure.
No, I love that connection though of seeing that leadership is just not just at work. That you can be a leader in any space. You can
Everywhere
be a leader
you go,
in your family,
you could be a leader.
leader in your relationships,
your neighbors.
Because leadership is really about how you influence other people in their own lives.
Yep.
And every relationship that you have, you are influencing it and being influenced in that relationship.
You're right.
Yeah.
Wow, you really can be a leader in every area of your life.
Really
I didn't
can.
think of you could go to your small group and be a leader. Doesn't mean you're leading the group, but how you see people, how you treat people, how you show interest in them, how you ask them thoughtful questions, how you listen.
Those are leadership qualities.
They really are. Wow.
Yeah.
I've learned something new today.
Look at that.
I didn't expect to know that.
Okay.
What you got for us?
For the people. What kind of encouragement or insight would you share with folks if they might be navigating similar leadership circumstances?
Yeah, I think I said it earlier, but leadership is not perfection. Leadership is, I think, being honest about who you are, what you know, and guiding people through that. But I really thought the leadership was perfection. It's not. And I think also just a reminder that leadership is still an assignment. And sometimes I forget that. Sometimes leadership doesn't feel like an assignment.
Yeah.
It feels like, God, why did you give me all this extra work to do? But it is an assignment. And I think we have to remember that as well. And I think the last thing I'll share is like good leaders bounce back. There's data around that. If you think about like the highest performing CEOs, it's not that they don't make mistakes. It's not that they don't misspeak or mislead their team. And, you know, like, it's not that they're perfect. It's that when they mess up, they have a very quick bounce back time. They're able to recover quicker. And I think there's also words around like mental plasticity, neural plasticity, or some kind of like, you know, there's neurology around that with your brain of like your ability to recover back to resilience is a sign of a healthy person and also is a trait of a good leader. And so if you are a leader and you find that you're messing up, it's okay. Apologize to your team. Take ownership and accountability. I love what you said about like investing in some opportunities to like grow your leadership, but also like good leaders bounce back. So if you spend too much time like ruminating on I could have, I should have, you won't be the leader you want to be. Repent, ask Holy Spirit, recover, bounce back.
That's simple.
Just bounce back. It's okay.
No. Yeah.
That's mine. What you got?
You know, it reminded me of a song. We fall down.
Donnie McClurkin.
But we.
Donnie.
Yes. My encouragement. Yeah, I think, you know, when it comes to leadership that you need both like spiritual and practical growth.
Talk about it.
There are certain things that you really just have to like seek God on. Like when you're thinking about like, hey, Lord, I need you to reveal the areas in my character that need to be strengthened. Like reveal the gaps that I have in even being a leader, being able to show up in this space. So I was thinking about like the things that you can be praying for as a leader: clarity, courage, compassion, and counsel.
Ooh.
Just thinking about
you
like,
came up with that?
I did. I was thinking about the 4 things that I be praying for the most these days, because I'm like,
That's
Lord,
good.
help me.
Say it again, please.
Clarity, courage, compassion, and counsel.
That's good.
So yeah, just thinking about like getting clear on your leadership assignment, being bold as it relates to integrity, because that's something that I've been challenged with already as a leader. Compassion, being able to like be kind toward people, and then counsel. You need other people in your corner that you can trust and go to when it comes to leadership dilemmas.
Yeah.
And then practically, it's like anything else, like you have to grow those muscles.
That's really
You have to
good.
grow your leadership muscles. And so investing in your development, whether that's reading more books. I read so many leadership books now. Just to understand like what are some of the frameworks, mindsets, things that I can apply to my life. And then just thinking about like listening to podcasts, like just growing that your knowledge around leadership, I think is also helpful. So marrying those two, I think, is how I would encourage someone if you are struggling with leadership right now or on your way to being a leader.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
This is a nice episode.
I did enjoy this one.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
And I hope that like people feel encouraged as women, that God has given us the ability and skill sets and gifting to be leaders. But like you said, we're not just going to wake up and be a good leader. It takes time. It takes prayer. It takes a lot of intentionality. And so I think if you believe that God is giving you, I think we said 2 things. One, God has given us all the platform to be leaders in some way. But if you think that God has called you to have, like, I guess, a more expanded platform or greater influence, really go to him about that. And there's so many great Christian leaders that have a lot of great practical and spiritual advice about being a leader. You're not just going to wake up and be a leader. You have to invest in that.
Yeah. And it's not just about a title. You can lead really anywhere in your life. It's really just about showing up from a perspective of caring for the people that God has placed in your life for you to steward. So, yeah.
Good episode.
All right. Post-check question
ready,
of the episode. We're giving y'all a little taste of the game. And so our question for this episode, if you could relive yesterday, what is one thing you would do differently and why?
Relive yesterday. Well, I stayed up too late. But because I'm so committed to my 7.5 hours, I will skip a workout to get my sleep. Because I know that for me, the sleep is more important sometimes. So I would have gone to bed on time so I could have awakened when I needed to and made it to the gym before our Rooted Life meeting. Yeah. That would have been preferred because I never made it to the gym yesterday.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
The morning I had a lot of work to do. So I would have gone to bed on time, gotten up a little bit earlier so I could have gone to the gym before our meeting. I would have done that. But it's okay.
That's all right.
I still got 3 days of gym in. I was trying to get 4 to 5, but we got 3 days and That's okay.
Celebrate.
Yeah.
There you go.
Next week, we'll just keep it moving.
I love it.
Okay. What would you have done differently?
Yesterday, in the spirit of leadership, I was leading a meeting that went a little off the rails.
Oh, no.
And I was frustrated during the meeting. So it was hard for me to like bring the people back. And so one area that I feel like I'm growing in is like being able to lead through conflict, which can be difficult when you're running a meeting or when your own emotions are kind of running. Sometimes you're just seeing red and you're like, why is this going this way? And so, yeah, that's something that I would have done differently is maybe just kind of like try to pause my own emotions in that moment so that I could help like corral and lead the group through that conflict. So, yeah. It's all right.
Learning.
Yeah. As you said, we
bounced
bounced back. It was fine.
Period.
It was fine. We got through it. So,
okay.
Well, thank y'all for joining us yet again for another episode. Super excited to be able to share Pulse Check with y'all so you can share these questions with someone in your own life. You can support our Kickstarter campaign in the link in the description and get your own deck sent to your house on us. And if you want, you can share this episode with someone. If this was a blessing to you, I'm sure it'll be a blessing to somebody else.
Yep. And last, but certainly not least, if you would like to hear additional reflections that we share, you can sign up for our free newsletter. The info is also in the description below. And as always, we are so, so grateful for you all. We love you so much. Stay rooted.